Hey, parents, guardians, any of you who are taking care of any of the students in Journey, thanks for watching this video. I'm sending this your way for a couple of reasons. The first is we are starting a series in both Journey Mid and Journey High called God, Guys, and Girls. And this series, it's looking at love, relationships, and sex. Because of the topics that we're going to be navigating, I wanted to do some extra communication with you all about what we are talking about in the youth group times so that you are aware of the discussions that are taking place with your kids so that I can also equip you to have some conversations with them as well as those times come up. So, in Journey, there's several key topics that we believe we need to walk through on a regular basis with students. And one of those topics is challenging students to navigate relationships and sexuality really in a way that honors God. The reality is, as you guys all know, the world around us, it's presenting our students with a message. And in many ways, our world is promoting a message that you are designed by your relational and sexual pursuits. So it's something that at church we have to talk about, whether it's comfortable or not. And at home, we have to talk about whether it's comfortable or not, because our students, like it or not, are hearing other things from other places. So we are going to do that. That's our plan. Starting this Sunday for high school, we'll begin our first study on this. It's a 4-week series for the high schoolers. It's going to be a 3-week series for our middle schoolers, and that won't start for a few weeks yet. I can pull up the date here for you. So for the high schoolers, we're starting it this Sunday, the 15th, and I'll talk more about that in detail soon. And for our middle schoolers, we won't be talking about it until the Wednesday, the 25th. And that'll all be in this email as well for you so that you'll have everything you need for that. The title is God, Guys, and Girls for this series. I've been praying over this, I've been talking with our leaders over this as we prepared for this. And there are 3 important goals that we are keeping in mind. So the first is we want to take a holistic approach to this topic. The temptation is when we breach the topic of sex, especially, to oversimplify it with teens by saying, don't have sex till marriage, which is good. But in the process, we tend to brush over the significant layers that are present developmentally as well as socially, now that we have unlimited internet access in our hand, and our students have that too. So the message has to push towards pursuing sexual integrity in all areas of our lives, and in the strength and grace of Jesus as we walk through a sexually broken world. So while we will talk about that, we are taking a holistic approach because it invades a lot more than just one thing. The second thing is this: we want to remain age appropriate in our content. And this really matters a lot to us. Our middle school talks are going to be significantly different than our high school talks, simply based on where the students are at, where they're at in their development, where they're at in their exposure and awareness of these topics. We're going to be highly sensitive to that and to our group. We're not going to push anything too far or to talk about anything explicitly or anything like that. I want the parents to be secure knowing that they can trust us in these conversations. And it gets tricky, right, when you're looking at different ages and different maturity levels and exposure levels. But here are just a few clarifying points that may help. The series is in no way a sex ed course or anything like that. We're not getting into biology or mechanics or anything like that. This series is a theological course. So we're talking about God's design and desire for relationships and sex. So the content, it's going to be presented in a pretty straightforward manner, but a very God-honoring and sensitive way. The high school group, our discussions will lean PG to PG-13 at most. In our middle school group, it'll stay PG. It's going to be nothing that you wouldn't be comfortable with hearing. So we want to be very sensitive to that, to having to be age appropriate. Finally, we want to set you as parents up to win. See, we want our conversations at home to be something that can create, we want our conversations in youth group to create something that can lead to deep, good, meaningful conversations at home. And we also want parents to make the call on what level you are comfortable with engaging in the series based on where you discern your students to be in this conversation. So here's a few things that we will be doing to help you in that way. The first is this video. This is the first step in that process to give you an overview of where we are headed. In the email I sent you, you'll find a week-by-week guide to the topics we're covering. I will also send a video out to the parents each week on what we are talking about, as well as a message that is specific to you as parents. I really believe that youth ministry, it's not all about the students. It's also about equipping the parents. In our youth ministry, we see your kids 1 to 2 to maybe 3 hours a week, and you see them significantly more time. So while we can have an impact on them here, it's even more important they're having an impact at home. So we want to equip you the best way we can to be able to navigate these things in a healthy way. I'll be sending some parent messages to you, and we're going to talk about what it looks like to parent teens towards relational integrity, towards sexual integrity in this current culture. I also want to encourage you to check the email I sent you, because it will include the topics of the video messages specific to parents that you'll be receiving. Finally, I want to ask you to join us in prayer as we go on this journey together. We trust that this will prove to be a valuable series. We plan on doing a series like this once a year, and we trust that this will help create some healthy boundaries and framework to view relationships and God's design for relationships in the students. I've prepared the groups a little bit that will be talking about some of these things, just kind of mentioning that it's on the horizon. The high school group cracks me up. 2 weeks ago, one of the students comes in and says, "Are we talking about that thing today?" And I said, "What thing?" He goes, about that thing. I said, "What, sex?" And they said, "Yeah." And so it was really funny because I said, "No, we're not talking about that today. We're talking about something else." He's like, "Oh, well, I'm kind of looking forward to that series." So there's an excitement. That was the first one. There's another comment made very similar to about the relationship aspect. So, and just one more word of to put you at ease. The whole series, it's a 4-week series for high school, 3-week for middle school. It's not all on sex. We frame it around God's design for creation and his design for relationships and how we interact with each other and love and dating and setting healthy boundaries, navigating all of that for high schoolers and middle schoolers. And then as a result, we also talk about sex and that kind of stuff too. So you'll see that in the outline. You'll hear about that in the weekly videos that I'll send you as well. So as always, please contact me with any questions or concerns you may have. I'm happy to meet with you as well if you have deeper concerns or want to talk through it a little bit more or see some of the material more. I'm happy to do that. I trust this is going to be a really great way to end kind of our season for Journey before the summer hits off. And I'm excited about it. So be in prayer with us, and I'm excited to be on this journey with you. Thanks.